Hi, in this video, I want to talk about a common problem, maybe one of the most challenging things that we face as parents, and that is that we lose our cool. If you're like most parents, you may get triggered when your child does something like they misbehave or they won't cooperate, and you get angry, you feel overwhelmed, you feel weary of the negotiations and the discussions and the bartering and the begging and the threatening and all those things. You maybe withhold love, you shame, you compare your child to another one who's more cooperative or more friendly or more helpful. And it's just, you know what it's like. It doesn't feel good on the inside. And it certainly doesn't convey to your children that atmosphere that we want to create, which is one of love and connection and nurturing. We think to ourselves, if my child would just behave, I would stay calm. But that's sort of reverse engineering. It doesn't work that way. Would be great, but it doesn't work that we can just sort of make our children behave a certain way so that we can manage our reactivity. It has to start from inside of us. It's normal. It's normal to get dysregulated, especially if our own childhood was less than ideal. Maybe some things get reactivated in us, and old patterns that we experience of yelling and threatening or withholding love, shaming, show up when we don't know what else to do and it's familiar to us. So the solution, thankfully there is a solution, is to be what I call the captain of the ship. In my work, I talk about 3 ways that we can interact with our children, 3 ways that we can be in relationship with them. And I use my hands to illustrate this. The right hand represents the parent, the left the child. When the right parent hand is above the left, I call that being the captain of the ship. You're a grown-up, you're in charge. It doesn't mean you're better or more worthy of respect. It just means you're the grown-up in the room. And it's very comforting to a child to have that. So the child might ask for something. Can I have cookies for dinner? Sweetheart, not tonight. Dinner will be soon. And I can imagine that you're hungry. Why not? Says the child. Because if I give you cookies, you won't eat your dinner. Yes, I will. No, I tried that before and you just tell me you're full. Well, that's because you make icky food. I don't like the food, and here we go. And I call this the 2 lawyers. And if you're familiar with my work, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're bribing, arguing, negotiating, explaining, justifying. Then it can get worse. We all know it. We've lived it. Your hand drops to here. Figuratively, you're down below the child sort of running the show, saying, you're the meanest parent in the world, you're the worst cook I've ever seen, and I don't want to eat anything you make, and you're feeling so overwhelmed and unappreciated and disrespected. You move into dictator mode, and this is where you want to feel in control. But the captain is not about being in control. The captain is about being in charge. Very different. So here you operate like a dictator. Go to your room. No dinner for you. You can't have a sleepover. Because dictators have no real power. They rule by fear and intimidation. They wipe out your bank account. They threaten to kill people. So when you're in dictator mode, you feel horrible, overwhelmed, really, really triggered and activated. And when you're in captain mode, you exude this calm, confident alpha energy that makes children naturally want to connect and turn to you and follow your guidance. Not every minute of every day, but it's where we want to stay most of the time. This is like having somebody at the helm. If you're a passenger at a ship, you certainly like it when you have a competent captain and one who doesn't leap over the side of the ship if there's a storm. So this is what we aim for. Being the captain of the ship lets you stay steady and confident during those storms, during the difficult parenting moments. And it requires that we use tools and prevent ourselves from getting triggered so that we know how to settle down our agitated, dysregulated nervous system and how to not take our child's behavior personally. We also want to address the underlying elements that we bring with us from our childhood that move us toward dysregulation. When we do that, when we address the inner part, not just the scripted, here's what to say, we do establish that genuine authority. We can stay calm and we can set limits with decisiveness and kindness and clarity and compassion. So here's a quick tip. Try identifying your top triggers, whatever they are that move you most quickly toward dysregulation. It might be kids fighting. It might be one child teasing another, or whining. For some parents, it's whining, just that sound, or having a meltdown when a child can't have what they want, refusing to cooperate, ignoring you. Start noticing what pushes you toward dysregulation. That's the first step to becoming more aware and less reactive. We can be that calm captain of the ship. I assure you, I've worked with thousands of families and parents, and I've seen it happen again and again, even the die-hard, lifelong yellers. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about why children get dysregulated. You might be surprised and you might learn a few things that will be helpful to you. Thanks, everyone.